Well, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today it is time for our month 3 check-in for the 9-month guitar challenge. Okay, do you know what I've learned in the 3rd month of practicing daily, trying to improve at guitar, trying to get out of that intermediate plateau that I've been in for years? Guitar is hard, and there's a lot to learn. And I'm trying, but there have been some things that have been going on here. I've been plugging away at JustinGuitar's Intermediate Foundation 3, and I've been going through the Foundation 3 practice schedule. At the beginning of the 3rd month, I was sort of working on some of the Foundation 2 stuff as well because I thought I wasn't quite there with those things. But now I am firmly into Foundation's Practice 3, or the Foundation 3 practice schedule. We're gonna go into some of that. There's also been a major, I guess, seismic shift in the way I play guitar again. I already had to go through completely relearning how to hold my guitar pick. We talked about that in the first episode. And now I've had to change something else that was completely fundamental to the way I played guitar, and it has set me back a lot. At the end of the day, it's a good thing. I'm sure it's only going to be of benefit to me, but we're gonna have to get into all of this stuff. First of all, Out on the Tiles, the Led Zeppelin song that I've been trying to learn. I had gotten to the point, you saw in the last video that I was getting really close. In between that video and this one, I figured, you know what? I'm finally there. I have finally learned this song. I'm actually quite good at it. I don't always play it perfectly every single time, but 9 times out of 10, I get through the entire song without really making any mistakes. And I was quite happy with where that was. Played the slightest little hint of that song because I'm gonna get demonetized or blocked if I play any more. So I was really good there. I was really plugging away with Foundation 3, but before we get into all the stuff I've been practicing in the Foundation 3 practice schedule, if you haven't been following along with this series, I'm someone who first started learning how to play guitar when I was in my teens, and I never really buckled down and tried as hard as I should have to get as good as I could have at guitar. Learn some of the basic chords, learn some basic songs, and for years and years would kind of go into guitar for a while, kind of fall out of it for a while. I never really dedicatedly practiced guitar. And for the last few months, I've given myself 9 months to really improve. And this is where we are now. Month 3, if you go back and see the original video in this series, it was my baseline. I showed you what I knew then we did a 1-month checkup, we did a 2-month checkup, and now after 3 months, we're doing another checkup. And here's where we are. I've been practicing the bar chord grip. Focus on the A-shape major grip. This is part of the JustinGuitar Intermediate Foundation 3 practice schedule. So you're supposed to go through the bar chord grip. Fairly simple. So I was using the E-shape grip in Intermediate Foundation 2. We've moved on to the A-shape grip. These are things that I've done in the past, but just drilling for 5 minutes at a time, just playing that A-shape grip, it does help, it has improved. We've gone into 1-minute changes, this time doing, shifting from E-shape to A-shape, and just stuff like that, but he would have different chords for you to switch back and forth from, so just getting your fingers used to that. Again, things I've done before, but the practice definitely helps. Major scale with Metronome, still plugging away with that. I had gotten really fast, I thought. I was doing 145 beats a minute, playing two notes per beat, but then I had to kind of dial it back because I was getting sloppy, so I needed to just really refresh that. Then major scale 1-finger improv practice. So you listen to a backing track, he's jamming on like a G, something in the key of G, and then you're supposed to play along with the G major scale. Getting okay with that, still not amazing. I don't play any wrong notes, but I'm just not loving the things that I'm coming up with when I'm improvising. You're supposed to do building and practice of melodic patterns. So this is interesting. You have your normal G major scale. you know that. But in the melodic patterns, you're supposed to play it a little differently. So let's say you go, let's say if this is the 1 note, this is the 2 note, this is the 3 note, and this is the 4 note, you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or let me actually play it correctly. And so on. So you're just using kind of different intervals when you're playing the scales, and he has several different patterns like that. So that's just helping you get more familiar with not just playing that same rigid pattern every single time you're doing a scale. Been practicing that. Awareness of muting strings. I've been trying more when I'm doing scales to actually mute with my palm like this. So I'll start out. So I end up muting those low strings, the wound strings. I'm pretty good with that. I also try to use my left hand to mute as well. Still kind of sloppy sometimes, but that's definitely been helping. Next, rhythm guitar patterns and application. There's a new 16th note rhythm that Justin from Justin Guitar wants you to learn in Intermediate Foundation 3. It is this. Again, I'm pretty okay with the rhythm guitar stuff. And then you were supposed to be working on songs and repertoire. So we've already talked about Out on the Tiles. That's the song I've been working on this entire time. I had thought I had gotten really good at it, but hold that. Next, I was going to be trying to work on Black Dog. Yes, another Led Zeppelin song, but it was one that I thought would really start drilling into me some of the things that I don't know. So I tried to do Out on the Tiles because it was very riff, single note heavy, stuff that I wasn't really very familiar with. Black Dog has some hammer-ons and pull-offs, things that I don't really do. Again, very riffy. I started trying to learn the very first riff, and remember, this is very early on with this song. So it goes like, I guess I better get a little overdrive here. Vaguely like that. The problem is, as I started playing the song, and you're supposed to hammer on this note, I just didn't feel like I was getting enough power or volume out of it. Now pay very close attention to the way I am gripping the guitar neck right now. You see this? Now look when I'm doing my hammer on. I really felt like I just couldn't get the volume, couldn't get the power. So I texted a good friend of mine who also happens to be a guitar teacher. And I told him, you know, do you have any advice for someone doing hammer-ons and pull-offs? And he said, well, why don't you send me a video clip of you trying to do it and I'll see if I can critique it. So I sent him a clip of me playing that riff, that opening riff from Black Dog. And he took a look, he said, it's not too bad. But one thing you may want to try is instead of holding your guitar like a baseball bat, you try to get your thumb more parallel with your finger, your index finger. Or not even parallel, but just sort of like directly across. So when I'm playing, you can see my thumb is sort of pointed back towards the headstock, and the neck is just really sitting in my palm like this. What he wanted me to do was rotate like this and play like this. He was absolutely right. Now there are going to be some people out there who say, oh, just play however you want. Everyone has their own unique style. They develop on their own. That's fine. But in the same way that I had to change my grip on the pick in order to play as quickly as I wanted to play, my old way of doing it wasn't working. This is totally the same sort of situation. So when I go like this, I have so much more leverage when I'm like this. I just don't have the power and I don't have the speed. So I realized as soon as I tried this that he was absolutely right, that this is what I should be doing. And it meant that I had to completely change yet again the way I play guitar. Instead of playing open chords like this, which I would normally do, you can see that thumb hanging out there. I always go thumb over the top, but it was always sort of pointed back. I now have to be like this. That little movement that seems like such a minor thing has completely altered the way I play guitar, and it's almost like I'm starting from zero again. I'm not actually starting from zero again, obviously. All this practice that I've been doing, it has been helping, it has been sinking in to a certain extent, but it's that muscle memory built up over decades of playing the guitar like this that now I have to shift to this. And it's not just for hammer-ons and pull-offs. I've noticed too, I was having a lot of trouble doing any sort of vibrato on strings. I just didn't feel like I could get it, but now if I go like this, and I use this thumb as a fulcrum for my wrist, I can do it much better. I mean, I'm still not great at it, that's just a completely new technique that I'm trying to learn. But if you're pushing, pulling, it's so much nicer with this fulcrum where you can just basically move your hand and it's sort of just swinging from that thumb, as opposed to here where it just doesn't really work. So that's what I've been working on. I've still been doing the practice schedule for Foundation 3, Intermediate Foundation 3 on Justin Guitar, but now I'm just completely trying to absolutely alter the way I grip the guitar with my left hand. And it's not easy. There's a lot of just repetition and muscle memory that I have to break now. And so playing out on the tiles, I'm not as good at it as I used to be because I learned to do it holding the guitar like this. Now I have to hold the guitar like this. And so I'm hoping by the next check-in, I will have completely onboarded this new way of gripping the guitar, and I'll be back to where I was before I decided that I needed to hold the guitar this way. That's my goal and that's my objective by the next month. So we'll see. It's been good though. I'm getting better at so many things, just gripping the guitar, feeling comfortable all around the neck on the guitar, playing bar chords, playing open chords, playing my scales and everything. Everything is improving. I am practicing every single day, and that can't help but have some sort of good effect. But once again, moving from this to this has really changed things for me, and it's something that I'm gonna have to get used to. So that's where I am. The month 3 check-in. We started in May. It is now near enough to the beginning of August. We have 6 more months to go. Let's see how I do. Thanks for checking in with me. I'll be here next month showing you where I've gotten to by then. Hopefully we'll have learned a little bit more Black Dog by then, and we'll just see how it goes. But until next time, until we meet again, I've been a good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.